Is grip training useful for everybody? Depends on who you are as a person, what you do as a job, what you want to get out of your training. If you go to a carpenter or a scaffolder and you go and shake their hand, you know full well that they do manual work for a living. If you're like a lot with my guys, they are involved in a contact sport, punching each other, strangling each other. So grip strength is very, very, very important. So I'll do a lot of grip work. Is it for everybody? Probably not. No. What you could do with grip training is, if it's something you really do want to work on, is you can lace it within your workouts. For example, if you've got a deadlift block, if you just do it double overhand, that'll nicely build in your grip strength. If you want to do some isometric holds at the end of it, some suitcase holds, or either some fat grip work or some pinching work where you pinch plates together, anything like that. But I wouldn't put too much of an emphasis on it, because there's better things to do in the time that you've got, unless it's something you specifically want to work on, very specifically.
I'm spending more time on my phone, which is making my neck stiff. Can this be helped? So it's really important then, when you're sitting on your phone or computer or anything like that, is to be really conscious of your posture. So it's making sure that your shoulders are back. So really thinking about engaging that bit between your shoulder blades. So imagine you've got like a tomato or something, you're trying to squash that. So really keeping the shoulders back, keeping the chin lifted, which is easier said than done, obviously, if you're on your phone like this. But if you can really try and think about straightening that up, and also just keep changing positions. So if you realise you've scrolled for a little bit and you're really quite hunched, it's just giving yourself a break for a second, just doing a few shoulder rolls, maybe just tilting the head slightly, just really kind of setting that back up again.
It's an interesting one. The question is, can you be healthy and still drink alcohol? So we have to start here by defining what we mean by health. If we're talking about everything that we put into our body being as nutritionally dense as possible, meaning it's made up of a good number of micronutrients and having an even split between proteins, carbs and fats, then alcohol doesn't really feature in that list. Can you live a balanced lifestyle and enjoy alcohol? Yeah, for sure. And you can also take it into account of your calories if we're looking at body composition changes. So if, for me, for example, I enjoy some IPAs. I can still have IPAs within my diet. I just need to factor them in on a calorific level. And that's also kind of dependent on how serious you are about your goals. If I'm super serious and I'm an athlete and I'm focused on trying to compete, I'm probably going to be a little bit stricter when it comes to my alcohol consumption. If I'm just a casual gym guy who wants to look decent throughout the year and feel confident, then I can probably indulge in a bit of alcohol every now and then, and it's going to have negligible impact on my body composition. Last point, alcohol is a depressant. So if we're talking about this from a mental health perspective, then it's probably not the best thing to be consuming if you're susceptible to fluctuations within your mental health. But as to the original question, can you be healthy and drink alcohol? No. Can you have a balanced lifestyle and enjoy alcohol? Yes.
Right. Sometimes get knee pain and not sure why. Will squatting make this better or worse? Again, that's very individual. All depends on what the pain is, which part of your knees it affecting, and then it all depends on your squatting ability. So it's one of them that squats will generally help it once you've gone through your rehab and once you've kind of slowly added them back into your programming. But it's making sure that we really watch our depth, like even in this sense we don't want to be sinking too low. Two, making sure your knee position while you're squatting is bang on the money. So i.e. you're not rolling in at any point, you're not forcing those knees too far over those toes, you're keeping a quite natural position. So personally what I'd start with is box squats. So we're taking away that eccentric, we're taking away that really deep depth and just driving up, and that way we can keep our focus on our knees. So a nice lightweight using box squats, can go from there.
If I horizontal press, will that be able to help me improve my overhead press? I'm not really a massive fan of a horizontal press. You probably can horizontal press a quarter of what you can overhead press. So there's not really there won't be really very much carryover. If you're trying to improve your your overhead press, think about doing like single arm shoulder press, even adding a push press in there just to work that lockout position. We could even do a Z press, which is from the floor, and just change the ways that we actually press in a up and down position. Don't start horizontal pressing. Okay, that might offend some of the bodybuilders that do horizontal pressing, but for me as a weightlifting coach, I'd just sort of stick to sort of pressing up and down and changing the dynamics of that rather than putting in some horizontal presses.
How do you work out what weight to restart a program at after a prolonged period of downtime? Right, so first things first, you want to analyse what lifts you're going to be focusing on, i.e. we'll stick with squat, bench, dead for now, and from there you want to go into a 1 rep max test. Now it doesn't matter if you've pulled 200 kilos 6 months ago, if you haven't been deadlifting at high frequency or to high levels, you may have dropped off. So therefore we need to establish a new base and see where we're at the moment. And that goes to this lockdown as well. Like, just because I might have pulled, say 200 before lockdown, doesn't mean I'm going to go back on the strength cycle straight away and set 200 as my 100% and work off those percentages. There's no point, because that might be now 120%, which is just silly. So on that note, we also want to think about, when we go back into training, we don't want to jump straight back into that strength cycle. Our bodies are used to not taking that strain now. Like, we've had weeks of no gym work, no proper barbell style training, no genuine strength cycles to follow or programming to follow. So we want to go back in, get our foundations in, get our volume work in, allow our muscles and all our ligaments to get used to taking the strain again. After 4 weeks of that and kind of slowly intensifying it, then we can think about doing a test, and then we can think about going into that strength cycle.